Hey, this is Jeff with Area 52 Pro Diesel Repair. Alright, so if you have a Ford Lincoln Mercury vehicle and it has this keypad here, there's a way you can use the scan tool. We're going to use the Launch x431 scan tool to retrieve the factory code. Because if you're in the same position I am, I bought this car probably 4 years ago. I just never have had the code. Usually it's in with the original owner's manuals, which I never had for this car. There's usually a card somewhere. Also, I have no idea. The older town cars actually used to stamp them on the inside of the trunk lids. This one does not, so I've never known the code for ever since I've owned it. And I'll show you using the x431 scan tool. This is the x431 Mini, made by Launch. Normally these things, come in they got a red plastic casing around them and stuff, a handle on the back, and a place to put the, but I had an accident with some water damage on here. I set it up on a shelf to charge, and I found out that the roof leaks right there. Great way to find out, eh? So I'll show you how to connect the scan tool and figure out how to retrieve the codes. Alright, so you take the Bluetooth OBD2 connector, and you plug it in, turn the key on. There's my mileage, 492,000 miles. Original engine. Second transmission, I believe. Alright, so on this scan tool, with it in the open position, these are just normal tablets. It's like a phone. You can have different apps and whatnot on it. We go into the X431 app to traditional diagnosis. Go here to just, American, so I don't have to sort through all the ones that are there. The first time I did this, I just went, oh, Ford. But I was able to connect to it, even though it didn't find the VIN number, but I was able to connect to the vehicle by using Ford. But if you arrow down here, you actually have Lincoln. And then goes into this, for your version. It tells you that, you can go up to 95 to 2019, even though they didn't make the town car. They stopped it in 2011, but so hit submit. And I like to first start out automatically search. The ignition is on. Alright, so that is my VIN, the year and make, engine, all that. So if it's correct, now, does the rear bumper have two sensors showing, yes or no? I assume that the sensors are probably parking assist ones. This car does not have doesn't have that rear parking assist or whatever it is, so there is no sensors on the bumper, so hit no. So, and from here, you can do health reports, system scan, scanning for codes, but we want to just go straight into where all the modules are at. So you go here to system selection, and you have all the different modules in here. Obviously, like your main one for doing codes and stuff would be your PCM powertrain control module. Alright, so on this car, and then there's going to be different, areas I'll show you a little bit later on a Ford Explorer, with a 2008 Ford Explorer, because it's in a different location to be able to figure out where this factory code is at. But in this car, it's in the driver's door module. So we're communicating with that. You know, you can read fault codes if you have any issue, but you know, go down here to special function. This is what you want to find, is these here. You know, if you're going to program new, you know, key fobs, which I have a key fob on here, but the little deal broke, so I don't have it. I have another one, I just got to find it. But anyways, and if you go right in here, it says this function will change the vehicle status, which I'm assuming meaning it's connecting to the module, because it doesn't actually do anything. Turn ignition on. And I'm not really going to show my code, but it looks like, it says the factory keyless entry code, and right below that it shows you the actual code. So, and from here I can't tell if, get that out of there, can't tell if you can change that. No, that's if you're going to change the actual module, programming the actual module. Remote keyless entry functions, let's see what that is. Okay, so you can, you know, view current transmitter, view program key fobs. You can reprogram a new transmitter, erase one, or, you know, I mean, there's a lot of functions these for this scan tool, which was like $700, I think it was, to buy. It's actually got a lot of functions. I've done a lot of diesel work on vehicles and whatnot, but anyways, that's how you get the code. So we're going to now just exit out of here. I may do some future videos on using this scan tool. I'm going to have to get a new one since it got the water damage. The power on and off doesn't work. I have to plug in the charger to wake it up, and then I can open it and come on, but I can't. You know, it's a regular Android deal. There's a button over here on the side. You know, the volume up and down works, but since it got water in it, I'm surprised it works the way it does. So you exit out of this. Really quit, yes. Now that is to remind you, take this guy out of there. So I'm sure there's probably a chance that a person can forget about that if you're working on somebody else's vehicle. Wouldn't be a good thing. Okay, so we will lock the doors. Alright. And then we'll punch in the code, which I won't show you, but alright, and if you hit the 3 and 4, it unlocks the rest of the doors. If you hit 5 and 6, pops the trunk. There's probably a few other functions that that they do, but anyways, I believe, yes, if you push down these two buttons here, gotta make sure you actually push them. That locks the doors there. There is a way, I've seen a video on how to change if you wanted to personalize your code. I know that if you do that, your personal code will work, but your factory code will also work. So let's go hook up that scan tool to the Ford Explorer and show you where to find it on that. Okay, so we got 2008 Ford Explorer. Got the keypads up here, same thing. Didn't know what the code was. Didn't have the little card that said it, and we'll just retrieve it with the scan tool. On this vehicle, the OBD2 connector is, we gotta have it pointed the right way. It's right there. Little beeping indicates it's got power to it. We will turn the key on and go over here to Ford. And I don't know, there's a lot of different buttons on here, but I didn't ever know how to get out of here, but all I did was just ever hit submit. And it goes into the I don't know what in session means, but when it's actually going into something, but it says end, but whatever. So the ignition is on. It's a regular Ford Explorer. It's not a Sport Track. It's not a Mountaineer, but that is all our information there. So we go yes. So go in here to system selection. Now we got a bunch of different stuff that the other vehicle doesn't have. And what we notice that it doesn't have is we don't have that driver door module. But what we do have that the other one doesn't have, and like I said, it could be in different, I've seen it in, you know, one time I think I've seen it in like a body control module or something like that, but this happens to be in this gem module, which is a general, oops, I was going to read it until that thing went my way. Anyways, do special function, and there, that all remains the same. So you would choose the factory, you know, same thing. This will change vehicle status, turn the ignition on, it is, and comes up with factory keyless entry code. Now it has these right there, so just right below it's the number, which I'm not going to show for security reasons. But it has that Y number, and that's just indicating that, you know, that's the number there. So that's how you find the factory keyless entry code. Like I said, that is, you might have actually bumped into it to see it, but whatever. That's how you get the code out of using a scan tool. Now there's other ways to do it, like if you had the 2 original keys, which I only have 1 original key with the town car, which only had 1 of the original fobs. That's the same thing with this Ford Explorer. You know, a lot of times this happens, you know, over time when you get used vehicles. You know, like this is a second owner car, and never actually looked into the owner's manual to see if we could find it, but you know, you can find it with a scan tool. So we'll just disconnect out of here. Really quit. Yes. Remind you to take your Bluetooth module out of there. See, OBD2 connector. That's all we're doing. Nothing special. All right, so we'll enter the code. Oops, door was already open, wasn't it? I'm an idiot. Alright, there's 2 buttons right here, same as on the town car, the 7, 8, 9, and 0. But the last 2 buttons lock it all. So let me try the code again. Okay, press the 3 and 4, unlocks all the doors. The 5 and 6 pops open the lift gate. I assume with all the doors, it unlocks your main lift gate too. So, anyways, that's how you find the code using the Launch X431 scan tool. I'm sure there's many other scan tools that'll do it in somewhat similar fashion. It's just a matter of out of the couple 5-10 vehicles that I've retrieved those codes out of, it's just been in a few different places, and you just kind of got to search around for it. So anyways, thanks for watching.